We're off.
Presumably so.
Yep, we're kicking. Hello guys, girls, listeners. Thursday again, 3 weeks since last podcast. As you realise, you only do one every 3 weeks. Got to live life first, haven't you, for 3 weeks? So, anyway, we've just been chatting away before we've done this podcast, as we do, right, getting carried away about all sorts of subjects. Not to do with this podcast, well, it is actually. It is, it knits in, everything's connected. But there's something I want to come to, right, well, I've got to do it in a different order. It's just a thing that I've experienced over the last couple of weeks about the sun, but I'll come to that in a minute. So, with me, I'm going to mention a couple of them from January, what I noticed in January. Well, not I noticed, but what were on social media and going around the world in January, and what doing the show in February. And February is an important point. That's when they'll ask our Marcus to come in, because something happened between me and him in February. So anyway, January went like this, didn't it? With all these phenomena going on around the world. January, what I don't know if you people are aware of it or not, but a lot of people around the globe, America, Canada, Costa Rica, even in Ukraine, could hear these noises in the sky. I don't know if you did or anybody. I never experienced any of the noises, no. So I was just going on what were going around in January, and a lot of people seem to be reporting it, didn't they, and podcasting and showing on the phones, and well, showing it was audible, wasn't it? Because it was just sound, wasn't it? Alright, so we had that, and in January, you'll understand why I'm going down this road in a minute. Now, February, what we're going on, doing the rounds, and obviously, as you get older, that conversation comes up quite often. But, yeah, I did start noticing something, but when I really began to take notice, I'd heard these on social media and various podcasts on about time, and how time seems to be going faster. Right, and at the time I was looking at these things, our Marcus walked in and he come out with this. I'm going to ask him to explain it in a minute. So he come out with me and went, wow, going really quick, time. And then he went into an explanation. How did that go? Like, we did within an hour or something like that, I can't remember exactly. Anyway, can you remember that?
Yeah.
When you mentioned time, when you've been on about it ever since.
Well, yeah, what I said is, which seems to be a contradiction, basically, it's the week seems to go fast, but the days seem to go long. So, I mean, that seems very contradictory. You know what I mean? Because obviously the sum of the week, if you had long days, the sum of the week would be long, but it doesn't. It seems, honestly, I'm not kidding you.
Well, I was already aware of it because I'd seen these things and you hadn't.
Yeah.
I never even talked to you that I'd watched these videos or this, and people were roughly the same time as you come in.
Yeah.
And that's what really woke me up. I went, wow, whack saying the same thing, right? And it were all over. People would begin to notice it, right? And you mentioned it you mentioned it the other day. You mentioned it a few times since, and I understand what everybody's saying because I see it myself.
Yes.
But as I've got older, I tell you, for me, right, when I became aware it was like speeding up myself, was about 2020-ish. And I thought, well, it could be a number of things, that. That's when all lockdowns and shit started. But at the same time, if you remember, I were into that. We were at coming out to Pisces, right, into Aquarius, right, and is it that shift, that vibrational shift, right? So, you know, you're going through this hyper, you know what I'm saying? You're going through, and the magnetic shift, right, is now greater, because that piece is time, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's space.
Yes.
Right, so is it where everybody noticing it? Is the frequency to change and people seeing that time's going quite quickly.
Maybe, yeah, like maybe so. I mean, yeah, maybe so. People's perception may be changing. That may be one explanation as to why time seems to be changing. Time can change according to one's perception. So, well, I believe that to be the case. But yeah, it could very well be. Could be, like say, a shift, some form of shifting, and it's just changing people's perception. And that's obviously altering how they actually view time.
Yeah. Well, do you remember you coming in and saying it and explaining it?
Yeah.
You know what you just said there. That's how you were saying it to me.
That's correct,
when I
yeah.
asked you why do you think that. So the audience had never heard that.
Yes.
I've heard it because I heard you say similar, not word for word, but your similar rationale how you were perceiving it.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, wow, you was perceiving it as well, right?
Yeah, because like I'm saying,
and then obviously I've been interested ever since.
Well, on a day-to-day basis, what I'm saying
and then
is...
Sheila said it 3 days ago.
Yeah, on a day-to-day basis...
days are going.
I would say that at the end of the week, like, all I'm saying is on a day-to-day basis, it seems as though we seem to fit a lot of things during the day, and the day themselves seem to be long. But you turn around on a week-to-week basis, and it's like the weeks are going quick. And that's what I'm saying, it's a contradiction. You know what I mean? Because if you got...
Is it, or is it speeding up?
Well, I'm just saying from what I'm saying, all I'm saying is the words I'm actually saying seem to contradict themselves. If the days are long, and there's 7 days in a week, then you would expect a long week. But what I'm saying is I feel different about the days than I do about the week. Do you know what I mean? The week seems to go quick, although the days seem to be long. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
so
makes sense to me. What you're trying, explaining to me how you perceive it.
Yeah, it's just
that makes sense to me.
But what I'm saying is that's.
And I think a lot of people are experiencing it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I'm sure
they're all experiencing it.
Maybe, but it just seems to me.
That's why I'm talking about it.
I'm just saying to me, it just seems to. It's as though I'm contradicting myself.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of people are having the same perspective of things to me. It's like, so this picture's right up right now, where I can speak from my own experience.
Yes.
Right? This white sun, so now we are to February.
Yes.
Right? And we're up here now in August. Some people have been reporting about this thing, right, since May. Right? But for me, I'd heard about it, this, that and the other. It'd been yellow right up to the beginning of August to me. It was yellow. I won't take in much notice of what they were saying because we're out in Bentley. When I went out in the house sunbathing, it was yellow. It was that bright, that deep yellow, that when there were no clouds and you know how you could look up at the yellow sun, right, for a second or so, right, and then you close your eyes, don't you, and you can see that colour thing in your mind, can't you?
Yes.
And you usually get a dot, don't you?
Yes.
Sometimes it's red, sometimes it's blue, innit? Right, innit? When your eyes are shut, because you can feel the heat and you know it's still there.
Yes.
And the sort of drift away into paler colour.
Yes.
Right, your mind goes, it's blanked it out now, the effect of it, right?
Yes.
But then I say to you, right, why that? That's all, it's white. Now I've seen it myself, I felt it myself.
Yes.
I'm sunbathing in the yard, which I explained, and I looked up and it was like a millisecond. Not like when you look at the yellow sun and just you do what I've just explained you do, normal people I would presume. But this, it was blinding. It was a blinding light.
Yes.
In like a millisecond. That's all. I turned my head away straight away, immediately. Right? I go, bloody hell, what's up with this sun? It's white. And then I start digging deeper. Wow. And then round planet people reporting it, white sun. Right, strange. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I can see it. In fact, I phoned you while you were, well, I thought you were driving, but you weren't.
You pulled up.
And you pulled up, right, you pulled up, and I said, whackers, look at that sky, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Is that not true?
Yes.
And even though it was behind the clouds, the clouds were so
Yes.
bright,
Yes.
they burnt your eyes.
Yeah.
That's a weird white light.
It is, but I've listened to what you're saying, but what's your claim? What are you actually claiming?
I'm not claiming nothing. What I'm saying is,
Is it?
I'm going through the years and, right, some people report that, some people report that.
Yes.
Then they report the white sun. Right, I can see, I can physically experience
Yes.
what it is they're on about.
Yes.
I can't back up the sunflowers, although there's millions on
Yes.
YouTube.
Yeah.
How sunflowers are turning the backs on the sun.
Yes.
The flowers are facing away.
Yeah.
Yet the sunflowers. That's where they get the name from.
Yeah.
Can't remember it for
Oh,
Greek Spanish name. They follow certain flowers follow the sun. When it rises in the east all the way till it goes down in the west, don't they?
Yeah.
Sunflowers are one of them.
Yeah, but the point I'm saying is, obviously, you're making reference to
All these things, because is the a vibrational shift?
I don't know, because obviously you're making reference to two different, the same thing, but at two different points in time, so to speak. That on the one hand the sun was more yellow, now it's white. What do you think's changed it? Because I'm a big believer.
I don't know. I don't know.
Has it changed it?
I just laughed,
Yeah.
didn't I? I said somebody's gone up there
Yeah.
and nicked the yellow light bulb
Yeah.
and plugged the white in,
Yeah.
because it's white.
Yeah.
I'm 71 coming up. I
Yeah.
can't remember
Yeah.
ever seeing a sun like that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why it's white.
I don't know.
Well, nobody's telling me that.
Yeah.
No experts come on and says, well, yes, we have noticed this white sun and it's quite normal or whatever. And this happened so many hundred years, whatever. Nobody's come up. People are just going, can you remember a white sun? No, I can't.
It just sounds as though
That's all I'm saying.
Well, what I'm saying is,
No.
all I'm saying is, it sounds as though there's a condition change because
What I'm saying is it a frequency
I don't know.
change?
I don't know.
If the Earth's, changing its frequency.
I don't know. There's obviously.
And we're part of it, and it's happening to us.
I mean, that's possible. I mean, to me,
Yeah.
everything.
Connected.
Yeah, everything's actually connected, and
Yeah.
if you change the conditions on certain aspects, you'll get a different thing, if that makes sense. So there's obviously a difference between a white sun and a yellow sun. So what I'm saying is, what conditions have changed to alter it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's lots of.
Yeah.
I mean, one side will call them conspiracy
Oh no, there's no
theories,
conspiracy.
and
No, I'm
the other side will say a theory.
No, I'm just
This is
saying.
my theory.
Yeah, I mean,
There's also about what they're spraying and what they're doing.
yeah. There's
All
obviously.
sorts of things,
All I'm saying is, I'm not.
Apps and everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm not saying the claim's actually not true. I'm just saying that there's obviously
Is
something.
it just a university going through this frequency?
I don't know.
It's a universal thing.
It could be a frequency. It could
Covering
be.
it with a light bulb.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That's it. Or somebody, like say somebody could put dimmer on.
What is it?
I don't know these
Get that
things.
dimmer off, I can't see. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
First the sound,
Yeah.
right? The sound, and then the time business.
Yeah.
Then the light business.
Yeah.
Wow, that's all up. That's my theory. Are we going through a frequency change? You know what I mean? I was just feeling the effects of going into the aquarium.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. Well, somebody may be preempting a price rise in electric.
Yeah.
Obviously, change light bulb.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be going up this year.
Wow.
It's supposed to be going up this year anyway. So yeah, it's like saying somebody's now gone.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't take any of it serious because I can't. Listen, don't ask me how to change it back to yellow. I've got no idea. Well, the ladder's big enough.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. They went, no ladder for you. Get out of that fucking snake hole. Yeah, well, that's all.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not like. It's just discussing life as I perceive it to be becoming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or is or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. So we'll move on, because I want to get this in, because we had a bit of a chat about this, didn't we? So we, anyway. Because that's from a minute. So you see these podcasts like The Slow Life,
Yeah.
The Simple Life,
Yeah.
and like I explained, the all same thing. It's like dematerialising and sorting out what they really need
Yes.
and what they want.
Yes.
You know, if you ask most people, write me a list what you want. You know what I mean? You can, whatever you want, whatever.
Yeah.
I know what the ones I want, I can't afford, doesn't matter, just write down what you want.
Yeah.
Write it down, and I'll say to you then. I'll say to them, right, yeah, you happy with that? Yeah. Don't have to do many, 10's enough, innit?
Yes.
Whatever, 5, whatever, 20. And then, yeah, alright. Now write me a list. After reading your list a couple of times,
Yeah.
write me a list of what you need.
Yeah.
Right? As I said to you, seems to be a lot of people. You know where I've been like this for quite some time. This materialism. You know, I told you I had my experience, and it's just absolute nonsense. And it was all about what I needed, not what I wanted. What I wanted I didn't really need.
Yeah.
It was just nonsense. Well, I'm not wasting my time on that. I've got better things to do.
Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, educate me, send you some fake knowledge or something. Right, then go down that trail. So that was me. Now, how do you see it now? Are these people waking up, because I've showed you a couple, and there's many, many more who are doing the same sort of thing,
Yes.
describing it their way,
Yeah.
whether they're doing a podcast like just me and you, just discussing what they're doing in their lives,
Yeah.
and what thoughts they're having, no different to what me and you doing here,
Yeah.
right? And they come to the same conclusion, right? I told you that guy there who was 65, he came to that conclusion at 60, right? I'm like 5-6 years older than him, but I came to that same conclusion myself round about that, if you remember, 60, 61. I went, well, I'm not having any of this effing materialism anymore.
Yeah.
That's gone out window with that ego. Right? None of that nonsense. It's
Yeah.
what I need.
Yeah.
Right? And if I treat myself something, right, I'll be grateful, you know, give myself a treat. But if I really didn't need it and I couldn't afford it, I won't have it. Right? I wouldn't put myself under any pressure
Yeah.
to get that want. How do you see this want and needs thing? And the materialism of life?
I think sometimes, especially, well, my view is this. I think people sort of pursue what they think is a sense of freedom, but in pursuing that, they end up restraining themselves. What I actually mean by that is this. If you generally ask people, it could be a demographic issue as well. If you ask people, especially in, I'd say, anywhere between 20 and 40, write down a list of things that would actually make you happy, they'll probably put things like flash cars, big houses, fancy clothes, this and the other. And when they actually translate this to value terms, then obviously it's the start of the problem, because the thing is as well, if you want these things have obviously got value, and when you sum the total up, it may be millions of pounds worth. And if you're only on a minimum wage, then you'll never achieve these things. And what I'm saying is, it's like a precondition that in obtaining these things, that will actually make you happy. But because you'll never obtain them, because you cannot physically work long enough to obtain them, in a sense, what you're saying to yourself, then you're unhappy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it does.
So in this pursuance of false happiness, what you end up doing is making yourself unhappy, because you've set yourself a condition you can never achieve. Now, I know that's a relative argument, because obviously people make different rates in monetary terms. Do you know what I mean? So something that's £1,000 for somebody, if they're making £1,000 an hour, it'll only take them 1 hour to do that. But if they're on £10 an hour, they would have to work 100 hours to do that. And this is what I'm saying, is when you start summing the totals up of people's perception of things that would make them happy, they could never work. They'd have to work the rest of their life and beyond to achieve this so-called happiness. So they've already entrapped themselves by setting this thing in motion.
Right. That's a good explanation, that. Right, so people like myself and the older guy, and there are quite a few, I don't know,
Yeah.
they're probably in the hundreds, if not thousands, who do the podcast or put the bit up on the Facebook, doing the same sort of thing.
Yes.
Right, now that would, what Marcus has just said makes perfect sense to them people, me and them people, because we've already gone through it. Right, and we've had all these rational thoughts, as Marcus has explained. That's how what people are doing. They're entrapping them. He's explained. Instead of me and the old guy walks in the country. I'm here, sat in a chair next to our young'un in his office, talking to him about it. Right. We'd already gone through these things in his head, what brought us to that conclusion. Right. We come to the conclusion then, as we drift into it, and it's forever happening. I mean, for me now, I'm going into 11 years on it, so I perceive it better and better each time. So I'm watching the next generation, and I wanted to really, I thought about this podcast, and I thought I really want this bit in, and he's explained it perfectly. So just think about what you're doing, what your needs are, and what your wants are, right? Live simple as you can, right? And everything will be fine. You won't have the pressures of it all. It's as simple as that.
I agree with you, because what happens is because people they place this, like I say, a false list, so to speak. What they end up becoming is, and you've heard the old saying, they end up living to work. Do you know what I mean? That's what the life is. It's just constant work, because they're trying to achieve this false happiness with all this materialism. Do you know what I mean? So that's it. That's how I see it. So the simpler you live, the less of your life you have to literally give up to pay for your personal consumption. So basically,
and you get loads of time to yourself.
oh yeah, well you got to strike that balance. You got to.
If you got any hobbies or it means I love doing research on my thoughts and stuff.
You got to work to live.
Right. So yeah, of course. Nobody's saying you don't have to do that.
No, what I'm saying
You
is,
have to make an income and pay your way.
What I'm saying, people fall foul. What I'm saying is they fall into the trap of living to work.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is you should only work to live.
Yeah.
And if you reduce your consumption to the basic needs that you actually want within reason, then potentially you can free your time up. You don't have to work as many hours.
Well, you're doing
and
it.
you actually free your time up.
You're doing it this Thursday.
Oh yeah.
You've got
I
time
understand.
for yourself.
Yeah, but I'm just
Right.
I already know, because that's how I view things anyway.
Well, you
But-
said to me a few days ago, you went, it's been a great year, this.
Yeah, it's a great year. Yeah.
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 It's a relaxing year.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
I'm just, just because obviously making a video, I'm just sort of expressing how I actually see things. Not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong.
Listen.
It's just my view.
Listen, right, you've explained it
Yeah.
in a more technical term than the podcast I've just been on about.
I haven't seen them, but I'm doing so.
You
yeah.
understand it's
Yeah.
the same language
Yeah.
as the older people, the man and the woman podcast, right, who realise, wow, did I waste some of my time?
Yeah.
I'll stick my hand up. Well, chasing and a delusion.
Yeah.
That was never going to make me happy.
Yeah.
What made me happy is that this having a laugh.
I mean, the only advice. I mean, I'm very functional anyway, as you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, you
it's
have
up
been
to
that
it's
way.
up to people. If they get a sense of happiness from having fancy cars, this, that, and the other, that's fair enough. It's just basically go for it. But
Yeah.
to me, I'm very functional. I just need an item for function. Say with a car, I need to get from A to B.
Yeah.
I don't have to have a £100,000 car to get from A to B.
No, you don't.
You know what I mean? I can have a £1,000 car or
Yeah.
£500 car.
Yeah.
The cheaper the better. If
Yeah.
it works fine, absolutely fine. Because as I see it, is I don't have to spend as many hours of my life to get that. If you want to call it an object,
Yeah.
in order to function.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I can free all my time and do what I really want to do.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For have a flash car, whatever, fine, it makes you happy. But if it's a case of wanting people to perceive you as being very successful, this, that, and the other, I'm afraid to say it's probably more than likely in your own head. Because the chances are people don't even think that about people in general.
No.
So again, that's another thing. It's another story, so to speak.
Yeah, it's getting on, man. It's 25 minutes. Wow.
Yeah.
You see, time again.
Yeah.
Time. We're going through that vortex, man.
Well, it's space contraction,
We're
time dilation.
We're coming out the other side. When? I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be a 4 or 5 year trip, this.
Yeah.
Before we come out on the side of this vibrational frequency thing. But we'll keep everything, what we come up with, what takes us attention, and we'll talk about it on the videos as we go on.
Yeah.
Right. But I hope you find this interesting. I forgot to say this. Please subscribe, like the channel, spread it around, alright, and then we can get a thing going. Hopefully I'll work on how to put comments up so you can have a widget or whatever. Yes. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here because time's flying, see what I mean? Yeah. We can't get off it. Right, so as always, I'll leave the last word to Whack.
Well, don't you forget, start putting that overtime in. Got these things to pay for.
However you got it, so be it. Bye-bye.
Bye.